Hi, first graders. So today in reading, we are going to review your service word cards and your new vocabulary word cards. And then we're going to go ahead and read the next 2 pages of our story so you can get your book reading books out. And then we're going to complete one workbook page. So first, let's do our words. We have picture, and say them with me, okay? Put, was, can you guys see these? Okay. What, where, who, your, and we're back to picture. And then our new vocabulary words that go along with our story. Remember, we're reading John's Creatures. There we've got John, lunch, bucket, Finch. And what was Finch again? A type of bird. Very good. I heard you say that at home. Egg shells. That was what was in John's bucket. Paper. And then we're back to John. Okay, so you have your books. I want you to go ahead and open them to page 30 and 31. Those are the pages we're doing today. Make sure I'm on the right, on the right page. So on Tuesday, when you watched the first video, we introduced the book and we were talking about John and what he put in his lunch pail. What did he put in his lunch pail? Remember, Mrs. Connor showed you one in hers. A bird's nest. And what was in the bird's nest? Eggshells. And that means more than one. So there was 2, right? 2 eggshells. So, and his mom was saying, John, where's the finch? He found the eggs, but he didn't know where the finch was. And the finch is a type of bird. So let's go ahead and look at page 30 and let's talk about it. This one's a little more colorful. What do we see going on here in this page? I see a dog running, and I know he's running because his ears are kind of flapping in the breeze, right? And I see that they're walking and running in very tall grass. That's what color? Green. And I see a nice blue sky with clouds. So it seems like it might be a pretty nice day outside. And I see our character of our story, John. And this book was written about him, remember? And John has a little bit longer hair. He's got on a nicer shirt with a vest and some pants. And what's in his hand? What do you notice is in his hand? Paper. What do you think he's going to do with a piece of paper? Remember about the biography, the little bit of background I told you, how him and his father and his sons, his 2 sons, used to do what? They used to make sketches and drawings of birds and other animals. So I think he might be going where? If he's going with paper and his buddy, his dog, they're probably going to go do what? Maybe go see if they can find some birds and draw them. So let's go ahead and look at the words in the book. If you know them, read along with me, and I will try to stop, read slow, and then stop on any words that we maybe don't know. So remember our little quotation marks that tells me that someone's talking. So, and the question before, the page before, his mom said, "But where is the finch?" his mother said. So now they're continuing their conversation. And John replies, he said, "It left the nest." John said, "I cannot get you a finch." Next line. "But I can put a finch on paper." Now, I want you to go back up to the middle line and the second word. It says cannot. If you break that apart or take your little pointer finger and cover the word not, I see a word, can. Now cover the word can. I see another word, not. And they put two little tiny words together and made a compound word, can, not. Okay? So John's telling his mother that it left the nest. What left the nest? The finch? Yeah, the bird. The finch left the nest. And if he doesn't have a bird, how's he going to draw it? Or he doesn't have a bird to look at, but he can draw one, right? But I can put a finch on paper. And that looks like that's what he's going to do in this picture. Let's go down. Let's count 1, 2, 3, the fourth line. I see our vocabulary word, John. Let's read it. John put his nest on a shelf. John got a pen and paper. John went back into the hills. So he put this bird's nest up on his shelf to look at so that he could maybe look at it another time, use it as a reference. And then he went and got a pen and paper, and he went back up into the hills to look for a finch to see so he could draw one. Let's go ahead and look to page 31. Ooh, look what we see. What's on this page? I see a piece of paper, and what's on it? What did he draw? He drew a bird. And what kind of bird? A finch. If you said finch, you're right. He drew a finch. And what's the finch sitting on? A branch. Very good. Good. Do you like his drawing? I do. I think it's kind of cool looking. Do you think if you took a nature walk and saw a bird, you could draw something like this? I don't know. I think Mrs. Connors would look like scribbles. I don't know if I'm that artistic. Let's go ahead and look at the words. I see John again. John was still. Remember when we're reading that we're sounding out, looking at every word, and we're sounding out and breaking apart the sounds. Read the words that you know first, and then you can always go back and reread. And the more you read these pages, the better your reading becomes, the faster you identify words and sight words. And that's why we review our service words, because was and what and your, those are very common words when we're reading. Okay, so let's get your pointer fingers out too, because I think that really helps us when we're in class to really follow along. So let's look at the first line again. John was still. Okay, move on to the next line. A finch sat on a branch. John put the finch on paper. Here is what John did. And that is saying that's what he did. Notice on the piece of paper, do you see a word? I do. I see his name. Yeah, whenever you draw something or you write something, you want to sign your name because that's your work. That's why he did it. It's called his signature. Okay. So do you think John found a finch then? Yeah, if he drew a picture, he found one. Very good. And let's see. It also said John sat still. Why? Why do you think John sat still? So that he didn't scare the bird away, right? And so that he had time to sketch him so he could see how he was looking at the bird to see what he looked like, and he could draw him. Okay. Have you ever sat still like John did? Words to think about. Okay, so now you can close your books and you're going to actually do workbook page 37. And Mrs. Connor is going to try and make hers bigger so I can go through it with you. Maybe. There we go. So page 37, and at the very top in the orange box, it says the best nest. You're going to circle the correct answer for 1 through 5. So try really hard to read the sentence yourself. And if you need help, you can ask mom or dad or whoever's helping you to point out the words, and you're going to circle the correct answer. So let's go ahead and do 1 together. What was in John's bucket? A finch, nest, or lunch? You should be circling nest. Very good. Okay, and then if you look at the bottom, you can go ahead and do those on your own. If you look at the bottom, it wants you to draw a finch in the box. What? So you, and I had you close your reading book, so you might actually need your books. Sorry, I should have read ahead a little. That was my fault. You may need that paper to reference, kind of like he did with the nest up on the shelf. That way he could look at it again if he needed to. But yeah, go ahead and you're going to draw a finch in the box. Okay, see you later.